What's going to happen? 70 miles, wheel to wheel. The race is a battle to the finish. 30-year-old Italian multiple moto teammate is a misleading term. They are bitter. Lorenzo's won 2 of the 5 races so far this season. Victory would put Rossi level on points. More battle around the track. Millions more on TV around. From turn 10 onwards, it's all.
En el cuerpo a cuerpo va a ser la locura, se pondrá.
Oh, mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia.
Said to me before this weekend, if you go into these corners,
non c'è spazio qui.
I hope if I crash, we crash together.
I just ride to go fast. He's gonna try the same. So maybe we to pass there.
Say I have to brake. I like to put my bike at 180 kilometers. Don't slide more because
and Rossi's invented something in the front.
a bit in front and was a great emotion.
Che cavolo gli volete dire?
They come and they go. Level. The Grand Prix World Championship way. Some do not. Over 750 riders since 19th World Championship. Of them, a few in the 60s and the 70s, and took the premier. Is he the greatest of all time? Time will.
Motorcycle, I enjoy a lot. I go in the back.
Rossi won 6 of the 18 Grand Prix in 2000.
So you must have a lot of respect.
And you can't afford to get hurt.
Motocross is very funny. I like a lot of motocross. Big pressure from my father, Ross, because we have the mind to go fast.
2010, the race in Qatar.
Valentino understands.
Jorge Lorenzo finished second in Qatar, ahead of his compatriot and arch-rival, Dani Pedrosa. Then staged a post-race celebration. At Le Mans, MotoGP rookie Alvaro.
I'm here because I think I can try to...
Costa della clavicola sinistra.
Bautista is one of 6 MotoGP rookies in 2000. Bautista and fellow Spaniard Hector Barbera.
Fight with the other rider, you touch during the race.
fighting, no?
Every time something happens, they come to... And for me, is nothing.
Simoncelli sometimes is very hard.
The rookies have graduated from 150-mile-an-hour light. There are no better riders than the men they are up against.
In Malaysia, I crashed, and with the leg, after that moment, I don't remember very well. Not a little bit afraid.
MotoGP rookie is American Ben Spies. Meanwhile, Simoncelli experiences the much preferred.
Ben Spies, una caduta molto importante, contusione. Pedrosa, 2 quick laps on the round. Still it's Valentino Rossi with just a 5. It's going to be touch and go when the Texan gets on the front row. Pole, first pole of 2010. How many times have we been fooled by Valentino Rossi?
Valentino is a student of history. He knows very well.
He's got 123 to get to beat
Indeed, to fight off these youngsters.
On Sunday, one of the worst part is me a lot because I just turn on the song.
I always feel a personal connection with when the bike arrives in January. It is like a crucial moment. You are alone with your bike.
Go for the finish line and you try to, but this simple thing is very complicated.
I think motorcycle racing are more fun.
Of thinking outside. If I have to be honest, it was. It seems that he's always happy in the fit 2 races in a row with me.
After 6 seasons in the smaller MotoGP classes, nothing less than astonishing. A 7-race odd.
I repeat with the pole position in the second race. I was beating all the riders in my first race. I crashed, but I didn't feel this risk. But when I crashed in Montmeló, some riders after big crashes, they get this disadvantage and make this, an advantage.
Manté una mica l'home a la porta dintre.
Crash at the US Grand Prix. He came.
Valentino.
Piccolino, piccolino, quanto è venuto? Veniva a prendere.
Normal children. Because free here.
Però incanalato, capito? Da piccolo.
Quanto corre luce emozioniamo tutte.
For the 46, from my father, the fast and the easy. If you switch on the television.
È ancora e sempre sarà una persona. È 25 metri, lui ha detto, ma è tanto lungo. E noi...
Away victory at last for Valentino.
Cosa che capivi che era...
And I win. I push. Win the championship with...
Valentino sono state tutte belle, specialmente.
2003, Rossi's arch rival Max on the Honda, taking 3 world.
And we as Yamaha, especially during 2000, the factory team, we didn't achieve one.
Say thank you very much to Honda. Maybe make this choice at this point is.
Rossi was winning.
Per vincere, però ha detto io vinco ma non da per prendere la Yamaha che non era sicuro.
Everybody knew that the Yamaha was an inferior machine.
And he didn't like that, so he wanted to challenge that.
They're really hungry to get the win, so that was a...
You're always trying to give him the best bike for the job.
You only meet one Valentino Rossi in your life.
Honda held Rossi to his contract at a disadvantage going into 2004.
Right for the left-hander. Rossi just a little bit out. Africa's Grand Prix.
My bike, trust me, it wasn't a given.
That victory cemented the Rossi legend. It also buried Biaggi as a serious challenger.
I have the 2004 bike of welcome. Every morning when I wake up, I see my bike.
Whatever sport he'd be in, but I've been dangerous, but I've been very...
Rossi on the inside.
Oh, the touch. Well, Spanish Grand Prix. Gibernau's in the ground.
Yeah, was the last corner, you know.
Destroyed Max Biaggi. He destroyed.
In my case, with Biaggi, with the Gibernau and.
2004, Rossi vowed that the Spaniard would never. Casey Stoner is a different story. This was the first year of the new 800cc. The Australian on the Italian bike took everybody by surprise.
Went out there and we won the first race, we won the third race, we won the fourth race.
It was so difficult to understand why.
Hallelujah! What a race!
Honor have a great talent and some impressive, but if you work step by step.
But Stoner was on a winning streak and closing in fast.
Laguna, at that point, Casey had won 3 races in succession.
You have more than half a second for lap advantage. But
a lot of things weren't shown during that race on camera.
Laguna, and I know that I have to stay.
A downhill chicane known as the corner.
From the bike was quite scary. Over there in the racetrack, I say.
Moments when Valentino rides really hard and aggressive, or just planted in the side of someone, and you know, I just don't think it's.
So, you know, is what's happened? Complain, but in general.
The saying, what goes around comes around. So you know what.
Challenge faltered after Laguna.
The thing you have to question is mental.
Stoner's fortunes, meanwhile, took a strange.
And it took us a long time to figure it out.
The reaction. Casey came back.
Diagnosed with lactose intolerance.
I'm 100% now.
He's puzzling, you know.
He puzzled everyone some more by coming back and winning. He crashed out of the first race of 2010 while leading.
I'm out there and I'm out there to win races, get the best result I possibly can.
I broke a lot of things. Like that, like 30 people kick you know?
Sono diminuiti negli ultimi 10 anni moltissimo.
Rossi raced 2 days later with broken bones in his after 5 consecutive MotoGP World titles, and tyre and mechanical failures put him out of another 3. Midway through the season, when he crashed and broke his hand in practice, Rossi fought back in the second half of the season and was.
I thought it was over, man. I thought it was my life.
It came in a bad moment, especially.
We were in the motorhome after I crashed.
The worst moment of my career, except when pam, 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 very fast. The bike was okay.
Hayden up the inside of Caparossi. Hayden, no. Valentino Rossi is going to have to produce the
championship and Nicky win.
Rossi lost the championship by 5 points.
Tony, my boy Tony, did me his biggest favor.
Rossi's crashes offer two answers. In Holland, Rossi had not waited long enough for the rear tyre to get up.
Motorsport is supposed to be dangerous.
When riders crash nowadays, serious injury is bags as well as body armour beneath the leather.
Carlos held the record for the most crashes in one season.
Counting, you know.
The champions fall very rarely, though. All the Premier Class champions from 1960 to the present. In 2 of his championship-winning years, Rossi finished
Strong sense of self-preservation and an overweening.
Something like fighter pilots with their extraordinary hand, the willingness to risk it all when the moment demands it.
Els accidents sols, normalment, bueno, aquest és el perill més important.
Catalunya.
And I think that kind of spooked him a little bit. He tried to get, once all the carnage started, I just remember.
2008, John Hopkins crashed in the same corner.
So I hit the wall at over 100 miles an hour. I was like, had I been head first, I would have broke my neck and would have been dead.
Pato, who died in a freak accident. Mugello belongs to Valentino Rossi. Special place for him. And he always brings something special.
To do the best with the special helmets. The face was about what can be the next special helmet. Yeah, they make a special face, and this makes the rider more comfortable. They can help a man.
But also psychologically effective.
The job of the rider and his team is to figure out and create it exclusively for racing.
In the car racing, they are able to understand this reason is more important, the experience and the indication.
When I was a small kid, I really wanted. Most of the good engineer went to automotive.
A motorcycle at this level is basically flying on the ground tire. That's exactly the same as any aircraft.
This weight should make the bike follow. That's why the bike can lean and don't follow.
Everyone who's ridden a bicycle has that experience. It's not that
bumps, because the suspension cannot move up and down when it
bends and returns to its position.
Every track has its own attitude of what the bike needs.
A bike that works 85–90%, that's good. You get to a hairpin and you're like, it's a wreck.
You're going to the throttle, and then it transfers.
It always feels like there's a little, 1 mil here or 1 mil.
Every rider wants the same thing. With feel comes confidence. With confidence,
we'll front end. You start carrying a little more speed, a little more.
And you've got to put 220 horsepower.
Before riding, tyre warmers heat.
To get over 100 degrees Celsius. You can't touch them.
There's so much technology nowadays with that you're constantly trying to tweak this.
Checking the engine performance, like Lambda said. Principle, keep it simple, stupid.
He has that edge. He can feel very...
Tequila is the new word of this year of my team. With the knife, you know, style and the hammer.
If we are able to do, he is 3 times faster.
I feel a little bit of frustration from Valentino.
Hard on for 7 years to make as good as it is.
Da Valentino, un copione. A noi non ci piace tanto.
Unfortunately, I have the bad idea to crash with the motor.
Ho visto Valentino molto nervoso in quel periodo.
We think at the Joker because it's like when you play car. Maybe the problem is bigger.
E quando l'osso si è rotto, ha continuato a...
Pain was hard.
La frattura, in modo che l'osso ritornasse. I medici del Mugello abbiamo organizzato in maniera da andare in sala.
The day after, me and David.
He crashed. It was an unforced error.
Male ci mette 4, 5, 6 mesi e quando...
The surgery was perfect.
The guy who was clever on the Sunday morning at Mugello.
He will win the Italian Group.
Where did that come from?
After the crash, you don't think of nothing. You don't think.
It's the British Grand Prix. Jorge Lorenzo takes his third.
Even after 104 wins, after
a superbike at Brno, the day after the World Super.
He left.
And now he's a lot better already. That improved the power and the mobility.
When I saw him crash at Mugello, I seriously thought one of the rivals lying there looking at his shin bones stick riding.
The doctor, they were all surprised.
It was very painful.
La sua passione, la sua voglia di uscire dalla monotonia.
Racing. You look at the great names from the recent, very few. Agostini's one very rare example.
Adesso che Valentino si è fatto male.
Potentially self-destructive kind of madness too.
Big terrible crash. I crashed. Dr. Costa say.
Cristiano Rossi, morì. Amazingly, 6 weeks later, he's even able to walk.
3 fastest splits.
Valentino Rossi.
Whether Rossi can pressure him.
Lorenzo leads Rossi by 104 points, more than the luck Rossi had in 2006.
I feel this bike very well.
He is back because he can be, and so he has to be.
Bike fast. I think second only.
Bike and you are confident with it.
You know, nothing's even come close to it. My whole life's pretty much.
You zip up the leathers, put the helmet on, walking.
Let's go as fast as we possibly.
Ride the bike when I am 40 hours. Now it's my decision.
Been racing motorcycles. I didn't ever want to be a.
I was 3 years old. The first time I was old. He was talking about that with the people.
There's always the exception.
My mom was the one.
He was going to be a champion. Told so many people.
He crashed again in practice in Britain.
Curb, there you see, and Speeds is going to go through.
He got it! He got third!
Like Spies, Depunier is in a satellite team. Depunier's ultra-fast qualifying laps are it's very, very hard to maintain that level of over...
Good lap by Rossi. Will it lift him out of 5th place? All the way down towards turn 1. Pressure.
Okay for tomorrow's Grand Prix after the crash.
Boy, Lorenzo in. Rossi hasn't ruled out challenging for this championship.
The left side of his body. Depunier's injuries, a broken tibia and fit. Pedro Rossi fight it out for the final place on the podium.
Look how wide Stoner has gone. He's going to be across the line. It's Stoner.
I suffer quite a lot in third. Those to go down at the first one, I have some pain.
Pure, measured, careful races, he said.
It's in every condition, so.
In 2009, Valentino Rossi said he expected
Finish my career with Yamaha, but after inside.
I think we've got to wait till 2016 before.
The Czech Republic. Rossi is on. He finishes 5th in the race.
When he came back, we thought that maybe in a tour.
After a disappointing 6th at Laguna Seca.
It was a perfect weekend for me. We didn't win the race, but
4th.
You can't bet against Valentino.
All of invincibility of Valentino's.
Rossi wears a special helmet for his home race in Misano.
Fortunately, this racetrack is very demanding for the shoulder.
Articolazioni, le cartilagini erano state dal
maximum G-force you can have is 2.5 G.
Easier to ride. Why wouldn't you make it easier to ride?
Up in braking, but you know, when you have
Rossi heads the second row of the grid. And for those Valentino Rossi fan club.
Third place behind Jorge Lorenzo and race winner Danny.
Maestro d'orchestra che riesce, tutto bello da vedere in moto, tranne in questo periodo che.
In Aragon, at the 13th Grand Prix of the season, Jorge Lorenzo fails to get on the podium. Aragon is Valentino Rossi's worst finish.
He couldn't control it, and
An assembly fault, a mechanic's error. And
we can only keep trying and looking for it. And
MotoGP World Champion, at least one title, but I know I'm.
He's flown back to Spain for surgery.
That was very brave, wasn't it, from Lorenzo? Round of Valentino Rossi. He's got it, can Rossi?
Vale, by the half of season, he had quite.
Favour. On the inside, and they've done. Now can he go round the outside another time? He looked.
Valentino beat him up, couldn't flop him. Totally fair.
Rossi has held him off at the final post. Second place on Andrea Dovizioso.
Lorenzo must wait another week before he can get his hands on Rossi.
His 6th pole of the season. 8 from.
Making some mistakes.
World champion.
GP World Champion. In place, there is another race. Valentino Rossi has won 45 races for Yamaha.
He's right down the order. Absolutely. Stoner, where's he gone? In that final corner, Stoner's Valentino Rossi up into 8th position now ahead. No way for Speeds to fight back. On board now with Valentino.
Con la Yamaha. Non stava male, però lui ha...
Valentino Rossi closing right up now on Marco. Side, how much distance between those two? Here comes Rossi down into turn 9, down into turn 1, and Dovizioso takes over.
It's something right in the destiny, you know?
Valentino Rossi wins. Rossi is back.
Valentino Rossi rounds off the... He bids farewell to Yamaha in a letter to his beloved. 2011. Where he was 15th fastest.
I had
development, and the setting for him will come more quickly then.
Starting from the beginning is...
How many more races? Agostini's record of 8 Premier Class Championships. But for every year that you push your bike and your body to the red lights go out, nobody's looking back. Who's fastest now?